JackBolt Ray, JackBolt Radio.
Ooh, that was nice. That was hot.
Ooh.
I have an erection. I'm not gonna lie. I
You
worked
guys
really
get a
hard on that.
new theme song?
Damn it! You were supposed to stay quiet. We were trying to surprise the people with you.
Fucking ruined it.
Yeah.
We're 30 seconds into this thing.
Just restart it.
Already? No.
Restart
good.
it.
No.
Let
We're
Let
going.
me drop it.
We're going.
I'll drop it.
We're going.
This is quintessential JBR.
We're
right
going. All right. Got Travis. Well, myself. Scott Warren, Corey Henry, Cozy. Say hello, Cozy. You're the only one that hadn't talked.
Hey.
And the man, the myth, the abandoner, Rod Flag. How you been, buddy?
I've been okay, man. Thanks for having me back.
Yeah. We've kind of got a bone to pick with you. It's been 9 months. So we don't know if there's a little Rod running around. A small Rod. But
The only little rod that still my pants, so
okay.
I think we're
Well, we're gonna have to call you to the stand then. Rod Flag. What's it called when like a captain of a cruise liner jumps overboard? What's that called? Anybody?
good. Abandoner.
Okay. Being charged with abandoner.
I'm gonna look that up.
Yeah, please do, and we'll let the music go, I guess. I was livid. I'm not gonna lie. I wanted to kill you, Rod, when you left because you took a big part of my life, and Scott's life, and Corey's life, and Cozy's life. Come on, Scott. All right, got
Rod Flag abandoned.
he abandoned ship.
Yep.
Okay, abandoned ship.
And so the idiom literally means that a captain will be the last person to leave a ship alive before its sinking or utter destruction. And if unable to evacuate the crew and passengers, the captain will not save himself even if he can.
So, Rod, explain what happened. Because I had quit the league, but what had happened that night? Where'd you go? Why'd you disappear? Why'd you go off the deep end?
It was a Saturday night. It was a dark Saturday night, if I can remember right.
As most nights are.
Except in Alaska.
I know that I was on Brandon Chaburko's TeamSpeak that night.
Wow.
Nothing unusual happened there. Lots of trolling, lots of typical what you'd expect to be in a Brandon Chaburko TeamSpeak. Copious amounts of alcohol drunk that night, and for some reason, I made the decision that I was done.
But why? What happened?
A lot of stuff went. I'll tell you. Before a couple of weeks before that, I was burnt out. I'd actually offered. I told Chris Bassini. I said, "Dude, would you be open to maybe just running the show for a little while I can kind of recharge my batteries and want to enjoy doing this again?" And he turned me down and said, "No, you're not around. Nobody else is going to want to be around, so nobody's going to listen to me." And I just needed time away from the grind. I think a lot of that happened because we had expanded the thing to be, wasn't just, that's probably my biggest mistake. Was I always said if I expand the damn thing to be on Friday nights, somebody just shoot me because it never works. That's the reason why the first iteration of Rod Car failed, and that's why why I feel the second iteration failed. Friday's Friday night's why it's always worked. It's because it's been not overwhelming, and then we kind of bridged out, did the DXT thing, did the trucks and
I
all
loved
that
that.
stuff there.
That
It
was
was
awesome.
I mean, it was fun for a while, but then it was just a lot of work, and I hate to say it, but I suffered a major burnout. But in my time away, I I found my love back. I found that people want want the rod car back, and if we do this thing on Friday nights, I think I will. I think we can do that with a little help from my friends, and I think I'm excited to get back on the track.
Well, all right. I mean, I'll clear him of charges. What do you say, Scott?
Yeah, that was so damn concise and heartfelt. Like
Yeah.
I'm almost disappointed.
Yeah.
Rod, I derive a lot of self-worth from my point standings in Super Speedway Cup, so it hurt a lot at the time. But feeling your heartfelt words tonight, man, I don't know. I might be swaying in the direction of I don't want to find you and permanently injure you in some way. So that's awesome. I think we've made some gains here already.
I'd say so. So I guess case dismissed. Aside from that, what have you been up to, Rod? We've missed you. The people have missed you.
Not a whole lot. Still in the same job. Been in the house now for over a year. So we're we got the property, the value of the property went up. That's always a good thing. Taxes went up too, of course. That's not a good thing. I think that is. Yeah, I think that's about it. I mean, same job. Not a lot's changed. So.
Did you stay busy in iRacing at all? Did you race at all?
No.
The time you were off?
I literally didn't log into iRacing until probably about 2 weeks ago when the roll came out.
Damn.
Maybe if it was 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. All I know is that was my first turning laps on iRacing in a long time, and I really pissed somebody off in a practice room. I'll tell you that.
You're like, oh, this feels familiar. I need more of this.
Why did you slow down on the backstretch? I mean, it's a single lane kink. What the hell?
Did you keep tabs with any of the boys at all, or?
I mean, I wasn't the worst on the speed charts. I mean, I actually think once I got my groove in, the backstretch was actually one of my better parts. It's that damn last turn that's the hardest freaking thing in the world.
The Jimmy Johnson one?
That's not at all what I meant. No, I mean, did you keep tabs with anybody in the league while you were out?
Yeah. Well, first several months, I really made it. I just kind of kept to myself.
Did you block us on Facebook or did you delete Facebook? What happened?
I deleted everything on
Not Steam.
that Saturday
we heard you
night.
were on Steam.
It was nuclear.
You
went nuclear.
Yeah, Saturday night I just deleted everything. I wanted nothing to do with anything at that point.
Me and Corey actually found, and Corey can back me up on this. Who did we find, Corey? We found somebody in your family's phone number.
I was kind of telling Rod about this a little bit earlier off air. We pretty much Google searched you. We found LinkedIn pages. We found insurance. I wouldn't say papers, but like
documents.
Things. Yeah, documents. We found your mother, your father, your grandfather, and grandmother.
Yes. And we think
phone numbers,
a third cousin.
We actually called them, but we probably called them too late in the night for anyone to answer.
Yeah, I was going to leave that part out, but
Wait a minute. Hang on a second. Corey, are you saying that you had all the flags?
we had a whole staff of flags.
Yes.
Corey Henry, ladies and gentlemen.
But yeah, we did call, I don't know if it was his mother or grandmother, but very late at night.
It was 2 a.m. here, so it was probably 9 a.m. over there.
That's not how time zones work, Corey.
I mean, it probably was it would have to have been my grandmother, because the only other person to put yourself still in the white pages would be my grandmother.
No, it wasn't the white page. It was like
mobile
a
numbers.
adult friend find. Oh, yeah, maybe that.
What?
Yeah.
I don't know what he's talking about. But I found a number. I can't remember. Like, it's been so long, I can't remember exactly the name, but I'm pretty sure we called your work number.
Did like my voicemail prompt come on?
No, it said
No.
the user is currently unavailable or something.
Yeah.
Fail.
We did it from Google Hangouts though, too. I also sent you. I found your Google Plus account.
And LinkedIn.
Yeah, LinkedIn.
Yeah. If you went to the right voicemail, it'd say you had reached Rod Flagg, senior, with blank insurance.
Yeah, don't. We're not releasing information.
Yeah.
We're just saying we
We
did this
know
research.
we know. So if you ever try any funny business again, we'll find you.
Yeah,
Probably
please
kill
don't-
you.
Please don't call my
We
work
actually
number.
no. Do you remember this? We actually got an address and we went to Google Maps and looked up your address. We don't know if it's the current.
Oh, yeah, we
residence
did.
Or,
We
or
did
what,
find a
but
house.
There's a you can look at a 360-degree view of your house as it was being built.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
yeah.
It was just, I think it was just the foundation at the time.
No, there were some walls up. There were some walls up.
There were some walls up. Yeah,
Yeah.
there might have been walls up. It's been so long.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate the thoughtfulness. And
We thought
and
you killed yourself. That was the main reason. We weren't looking to do any harm at the time. We were looking to see if you self-harmed, and then if you didn't self-harm, we were looking to harm at that point. But we at first were concerned about your well-being. So was LSR TV.
appreciated.
They tried to reach out and to no avail.
Yeah, all jokes aside, I thought you died.
Yeah, we all did. I started tuning into live PD every week just to see.
That's a good. Yeah. Sir,
Good
we got
old Spokane
a
County.
suicide.
All right, to the mailbag. We've got one of JBR's biggest fans, Matt F., back with one of his great pieces of
Wait,
literature.
have I been found not guilty in this?
The case was dismissed
It was
due to
dismissed.
lack of evidence.
I don't even think it made it to what's the pretrial stuff, Rod? You would know, wouldn't you?
No, he only
Discovery.
deals with dick and
Didn't even-
toaster
didn't even
type
make
stuff.
it to discovery.
Well, yeah, Discovery would we'd have to exchange. I don't, honestly, you guys said you didn't take my deposition, so
No.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
No. We
Threw
did
it
well.
out. We threw it out. That's what we do here. So Matt F. from Parts Unknown writes, and let me tell you, we have a JBR hotline set up, Rod. I had set one up, but right now it comes straight to me, to my phone, and this young man has called several times, let me tell you, to the point where I considered legal action at one point. But he writes, Matt F. is here. I've got two questions. One, Cozy, why do you try hardest to avoid me when I'm in your stream? 2, what's your favorite Matt F moment?
Can I guess what the third question is?
There's not a third question.
Why can I not play Fortnite with you?
Oh, yeah, that's another one. So, Cozy, I guess we'll go to you first. Why do you try hardest to avoid me when I'm in your stream?
I'm gonna be honest, dude. You kind of freak me out.
Is that it?
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. I guess Rod don't really know Matt F. Neither does Scott. But he's a big jack off. But me and Corey, I guess both of our favorite memory would probably be the time he wouldn't quit joining us in Fortnite that time where I had to block him. Wouldn't you say, Corey? All right, Corey Henry, ladies and
do you
gentlemen.
guys know Ninja?
Yeah, we don't know him, but I watch him. What? Where were you going with that?
Thank you for that.
Yeah. So,
Sorry.
hopefully we helped you out, Matt.
Emergency over here. I'll be
I
back.
do my share of twitching.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
When do you twitch? Like after you beat off, or when you drink too much, or what?
Oh,
Yes.
I prefer to keep my twitching to myself.
Yeah, I
Usually
mean,
when he's in the top 5 with about 10 to go.
yeah, I'll get to twitching. Like Cesra the other night, man, top 5, my legs were twitching away.
Say the phone number to call in 1-800 Jack BLT.
No, we couldn't afford that. It is actually, let me find it. Oh, I hope I paid the bill. Yeah, I did. 404-567-5837. This is not live, so don't think you're getting anywhere if you call it when you're hearing this. But yeah, we've got a whole website, JackBoltRadio.com, and let me tell you, it's costing me a fortune, so please go look at it. There's nothing there right now, but please look at it. You can contact us there. You leave your name, your email, and your message. That's actually how Matt F did it.
What's the link?
JackBoltRadio.com.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't think I've seen it.
Oh, you haven't? Yeah, it's still got generic placeholder images in some areas. But yeah, it's coming along all right. I haven't worked on it in about a month, but.
And how about that goddamn theme song?
Oh my God, I
mean,
worked so hard on that. It was crazy.
It sounds like
it
took you weeks.
It did, man. I even built a studio in my backyard just for it, and I went out there and I got to strumming with the boys, and me and Bubba from down at the Waffle House put it together in about a week. But
Hell of a job, pal.
yeah,
Hell of a
appreciate
job.
it.
Hey,
Oh,
Trev.
nice site, man.
Thanks. Did it all
Trev,
myself.
How relieved were you when you were able to reach out to me and for me to be able to relinquish JackBoltRadio.com to you?
I was pricing plane tickets, man. I was. And then in the 11th hour, you got to me, and I was happy just to know you were alive. That was the first time I had confirmation that you weren't dead, which was great news for me and all the jackoffs around the world. Our conversation was pretty short. And I asked you to be on JackBolt, I think, there, and you didn't respond. So I thought all was lost. But here we are. But then you brought the league back. That's how I got in touch with you the second time. And then you said yes. And man, let me tell you, my dick was probably 2.5 inches longer than it usually is after that. Because I was just so excited that things were coming back together. I know one of y'all did that. But yeah, I was just happy, man. I was so fucking happy. Did you hear the Jack Bolt episode that we did without you?
I heard there was a memoriam for my
Yeah.
my passing.
Yeah. Did you ever go listen to it?
I've not listened, but I will inquire.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I mean, it was somber, but best we could do without you since you left us. Is Corey back yet?
No, he's legit dealing with some kind of a family.
I have an emergency.
Okay. All right.
However, he's still attached to the
Life
podcast.
alert.
Yeah. Somebody
I
fell.
have fallen, but I'm too
Corey
embarrassed
fell out of the
to tell
chair.
anyone that
but-
I can't get up.
Dog down.
Oh.
Oh no.
All right.
That's what?
His dog's having issues.
Ugh.
To the news, Alabama Police Department blames homicide increase on godlessness, and Satan.
I should think so.
A small town Alabama Police Department this week alleged Beelzebub is responsible for. I thought I was going to be able to make it. I thought I was going to be able to make it. These stupid motherfuckers at the Huffington Post put that in there so some asshole like me with a low-budget podcast would use this story and then laugh when they read that first sentence. All right, take two. A small-town Alabama Police Department this week alleged Beelzebub... Oh... All
I'm
right.
sending you a list of names.
Oh, for
if you want to
Satan.
change it, just click on the list of
Oh.
infernal names.
Yeah, let's ditch the fucking story about Alabama. Names for Satan.
Yep. Infernal names.
Abaddon, Adramelech, a
Say that
fuck,
3 times quick.
no, a puck, or a
Apu.
putch.
Ahriman, Amon, Apollyon, Asmodeus,
Bass,
Azazel, which I think is smaller. Oh yeah, Beelzebub's way down there.
Coyote? Who the fuck
Very
calls
good.
Satan a coyote?
An American Indian devil.
Oh, okay.
Damballa, Demogorgon, which is a classic.
Nurgle.
Lilith is one of the. So if you any, for all you Liliths out there, sorry about that.
Nija?
I like Mesophostopheles.
Do the Satanists say my Nija?
Mephistopheles.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah.
Samuel?
I think he's a cat in Cats, isn't he? Mephistopheles.
I'll have to do some research on that one.
I didn't see Cats. My brother saw Cats in New York, of all places.
Oh, I'm going to New York next month. Oh my God.
That's one of them states you have over there.
Tezcatlipoca.
There you go. The
That's
Aztec god of hell.
God of hell. Okay, that.
Wait, while I
Something.
got a chance, are you going to the city or the state?
Both.
Yes.
Both.
So there you go. You can pick any one of those instead of Beelzebub.
Well, set it to whatever the fuck. What was the one? Coyote, Beelzebub, whatever. He's responsible for a recent spike in homicides, and it's all thanks to non-believers in the rural community. The op. Holy fuck! I've been to op. I've been to op. No joke. I've been to op several times.
Can you spell that?
OPP.
Really?
Yeah. They have a big water tower that says.
That's the name of our state, in air quotes, police.
Oh.
The OPP.
Oh,
The
nice.
Ontario Provincial Police. Anyway, please continue.
The Op Police Department shared the bold opinion on its Facebook page Tuesday, written in all capital letters. It read in part, "This is happening because we have turned away from God and embraced Satan. We may have not meant to do so, but we have. It is time to ask for God's help to stop this."
Holy shit.
I want to see what a spike of homicides is for this company, because my town's fairly small by comparison to most places. And if we, but there's about 100,000 people. We may have 9 people get pissed off and kill each other every year, which is honestly, with the stupid motherfuckers around here, I wish more of them would do it. It'd just be population control. But anyway, they do this, and then on Facebook, you see, Rome, Georgia's turning into Chicago, or this and that. And it's like, just calm down, people. Let's see. According to the FBI's Unified Crime Reporting Program, OP reported only 2 homicides between 2007 and 2017.
Because all the rest were
Oh.
conducted by the OP.
This year, they've had 5 homicides.
You're going to walk right past that.
Yes. There's 6,500 people in the town. Yeah,
Used to be.
Now there's 6,495 people in op. But yeah, I guess they have detectives sitting around a table over there, and they're like, "All right, what can we blame it on? This case is going cold." Satan, Beelzebub.
Guys, we need a new strategy. How about this?
We blame Satan.
If we have more people hope and pray, what do you think?
Yeah,
That's brilliant, Jim.
or donate to a GoFundMe.
Press release, and then do a GoFundMe.
That was another thing, as Corey would say, before we were on the air that we were talking about. The Trump's Wall GoFundMe, Rod. Why don't you say your piece on that?
I think Rod stands to profit from this, so this should be an interesting.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say is lock her up.
That's
All right.
Rod's back.
Yep.
Fucking Rod's back.
His favorite present was or his least favorite present was Obama.
I was gonna ask you, Travis, about your trip to New York, if you don't mind.
Sure, go ahead.
Like what?
Are you planning on running the short course or the boot?
Oh my God, no. Jesus Christ! I am driving to New York though, from Georgia, and everybody I've told that said I'm
You're
a
avoiding
fucking
the
idiot.
question.
I'm not going to Watkins Glen.
Why not?
Man,
'Cause,
you realize the more north you go, the more just frustrating it's gonna get.
Yeah,
Good luck with that.
I'm doing it, man. I'm
was
coming
a-
to see you too on the way.
It
so-
wasn't. It was more of a. It was more of a deeper question than that.
Watkins
I was-
Glen is near Dix, New York.
No, It was a deeper question to entice the argument, because Sonoma is expanding their track, and why aren't we running the boot in NASCAR now since we're bringing the Sonoma long track back?
Yeah, what the hell?
I mean, I wouldn't mind.
Bring the boot.
Run the boot. Shoot the boot.
I mean, the boot would be cool, but I mean,
Yeah, the Roval worked.
it did. But I mean, that was a new track. NASCAR fans don't like change. Well, NASCAR fans hate 2 things: change and the way things are. So I don't think you're gonna
Yeah,
make
yeah,
anybody.
yeah.
Oh
You're,
god.
you're not gonna make anyone happy. So
No, but at the end of the day, that was like probably the funniest race, like last 15 laps of the year.
oh yeah,
when,
yeah,
when they
fucking
all crashed
Keselowski,
into turn one was
It was amazing.
fantastic. Yeah, that's
was
what
amazing.
NASCAR wanted when
It was
they
the
made
most
the track.
NASCAR thing ever.
Yeah,
Brad
Could-
Cave forgot to change his batteries and his controller
It
died
wasn't-
going into turn one.
it wasn't just him though. If you watch the replay, there were at least 7 of them. That
They
fucking
all, I mean the track is kind of shitty, but at the same time, everybody was trying to get all they could going in there. God, I'm starting to sound
So-
like Mark.
would you?
Oh, fuck it.
Oh god, we were all thinking of
Mark
different
who?
marks. That's
Mark
the
who?
crazy thing. We're thinking of different marks, and we're gonna leave them all nameless because everybody
Mark
knows a
Summers posted
mark.
Double Dare?
Damn, you just gave it up.
I'm not on cocaine,
So I smoked some crack. Cozy will get
but
that
yeah, like
reference.
everybody tried to get all they could going into turn one, and it's their own fault. They can't blame the track. There wasn't anything on the track. There were people that made the turn. It was the people that knew that you couldn't go that
I was
fast.
shocked how tires were playing as much of a factor as they did.
Oh yeah.
Listen, watching a 7-time champion bail into the last turn and then take out the reigning champion.
As he drove backwards
Oh,
behind you.
And then Blaney Cat won.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then Blaney just
Don't
drove
ever call him that again, Ron. Please.
young Ryan Blaney.
No, he called him Blaney Cat.
Why?
I had.
Blaney
Why?
Come on, and nobody been on NASCAR Reddit?
Yeah, about to say you've been
Yeah, I
pretty
don't know
much
that
on NASCAR Reddit.
They call him Blaney Cat on there?
No,
It's a cat.
Oh.
Bad luck, Cat.
What? I stay off
You
Reddit.
mean Josh Williams?
Shit, I got some
Oh.
reading to do.
Ooh. Ooh.
Who's
God.
spotter 22 or 12 next year? Rumors?
Oh, is there really?
I don't know. Someone said Josh Williams.
Oh.
I'm just so happy that Corey LaJoy finally has a mid-pack ride.
Yeah, that'll be nice.
You really think the 32 is a mid pack, right?
No, that whole thing was a joke.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
You would know
but
that
I'm
from
just-
Reddit. Reddit
I mean,
loves
fucking Matt
top
Tiff got
30s.
even a front row motorsports ride, and that's better than that.
It's money, man.
The funny thing is, he's not the only one that's had surgery on his brain in the NASCAR lineup next year. Hey-yo.
Who's the other one?
Too soon?
Wait, it's
Any number. I'm sure that Clint Boyer's had brain surgery at some point.
alcoholic brain surgery. Like Corey and Rod do every Friday night.
His alcoholic neuropathy.
Yeah, that's
Is
it.
Danica
Ooh.
okay?
Good
Yeah.
word.
Oh yeah, that's another thing we were supposed to talk
Danica.
about. That
I
bitch
miss
or
Danica.
Danica.
I mean, she crashed in both the Daytona 500 and the Indy 500.
I
Got
mean,
Lisa
Eric
Harvick.
Almirola ran the 10 and only had one interesting race. Danica had 36 interesting races.
There you go. Yep. Actually, that's one thing that we haven't talked about for all the debate we've had off air here about Danica and does she have BC equipment over at SHR and now Almirola's got, AB equipment or whatever. What about screen time? What about screen time? What about butts in the seats? I mean, is she still pulling in terms of popularity, in terms of views, in terms of actual minutes on NBC, on Fox? Is she still sponsorable? Not
Wait.
anymore, obviously, but I'm just saying, like, in terms of all of that, where does she have that leverage?
Can I use this joke that I've had and I've told Travis before?
Go
Does
for it.
Eric Almirola really sell the bacon?
Yeah, it don't get any funnier.
I was gonna say, you say he's an AB equipment now. A bacon equipment.
Oh,
Yeah, that was worse than Corey's joke. But
I mean, if you think about it, Clint Boyer got the R&D car. It seemed like this year.
He
well,
won 2 races.
I've never
And they
met
weren't-
a
they
Danica
weren't-
fan.
They weren't plate tracks either.
Have y'all?
Exactly. He won the short tracks, right? No?
He won Michigan and Martinsville, but have y'all ever met a Danica fan that wasn't like a 40-year-old man whose wife left him?
I've never met them. But
or an
I've seen-
8-year-old girl?
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say.
I've-
Well, yeah, you got-
I've
you're
seen
right.
a lot of
It's like-
underage.
Like
Underage
a
girls
9-year-old and has to
don't
wear
talk
it because
to,
their
but-
parents told them to.
I mean, she's got the body of a 12-year-old boy. I don't get it.
14.
Maybe. Okay. Yeah, she does have big arms.
That's
That's
what
the
Rookie's into, huh?
That's the quote from a NASCAR driver. I won't say his name.
Really?
Corey LaJoy.
Tell us. No.
Yeah, she has the backside of a 14-year-old boy.
Oh,
Well,
Jesus.
it's
Why would
They're not
Stenhouse
wrong.
call his ex-girlfriend that?
no. Stenhouse upgraded though, bro. Have you
Who's
seen
he
who
with
he's
now,
with?
Natalie Decker?
No, this chick's got some damn. Her dumplings were boiling over in one of the pictures I saw. Let me just tell you.
Stenhouse upgraded from Danica.
Yeah, like
Wow.
this woman, like Danica was like a woman's head on a man's body. Like this is like a woman's head on a woman's body. It's nice.
He upgraded. He's got Ryan Newman now.
Yeah,
So there's no neck.
yeah,
Just the head on the body, like you
yeah.
said.
He couldn't afford the neck yet. He didn't. want
There's a
enough
guy that's
races.
going to be terrible next year.
Poor guy. But I
He'll
mean,
keep his mid-pack.
Hey, Kenseth had what 2 straight top 10s at the end of the season. Not bad.
yeah,
I think Matt Kenseth
strategize.
is probably a better race car driver than Ryan Newman. Just throwing that out there.
I mean,
Remember, and he was
Yeah.
going to win Indy too. Remember?
wasn't that Trevor Bayne?
No. Remember, Kenseth was like in speed. He was like top 5 speed and like catching the leaders until some restart or something.
Do you
No.
remember that, Cozy?
No, he had a terrible pit stop.
He was like riding in the top 5 and everybody was crazy because, he was actually in the top 5, but he wasn't that. He wasn't beating any of them Yoders.
No, he was passing cars, got up to the top
Ah!
5, but then he had a
See, now I
bad
know you're
bad
lying,
pit
'cause
stop.
nobody passes at IMS.
Yes.
Shut up. Sit down.
Well, not this year, but next year once we
Oh God.
got the taper spacer, here we go, boys.
No, I feel like Newman's going to pick up that Xfinity, the 60 Xfinity car luck, because it's got to go somewhere.
Yeah.
And unless Roush shuts down, that luck's got to go somewhere. It's going to go to the 6.
Well, they did shut down the Xfinity program, so
They
yeah.
sure shit did.
Yeah.
Yeah. It needs to go somewhere. It's going to.
iRacing's not paying for Majeski anymore.
I mean, you know what? Honestly, watching that all year, watching those
Painful.
guys go out there and struggle. Yeah, I hated watching it. I hated watching.
Well, Cindric was half of the wrecks. The other two did all right. Cindric,
Cindric
though.
at least sent it. That half of his.
But he's a
wrecks-
fucking idiot.
Well, he sent it.
Dumb, also Cindric.
Did Cindric even win in the Penske car this year?
No, he fucking
No.
sucks.
Wow.
But
You almost won a road course race at one time.
2 times.
Oh,
He
yeah,
should have
that's
won the Roval, but he spun leading.
Was it him in Canada?
He won that time, but in the truck series.
Yeah, he had to dump
That's
Kaz
right.
Gralla of all
That's
people to
right.
do it.
Yeah, he ruined
Yeah,
Canada.
If you have
that's
to
pretty
dump
rough.
Kaz Gralla to win a race, you should just fucking quit.
Let's just be honest. Like the whole Xfinity and Craftsman Truck Series is fickle. It's all about what car you're in,
Yeah, so's the
Good
Winston
old,
Cup.
good old Craftsman truck series, my favorite.
The Winston.
or Camping World, whatever.
The
Okay.
Gander
Wrong
Mountain
again.
Outdoors
Keep trying.
Pro Truck
It's not
Driving
even
Series of
Camping World, what is it
NASCAR.
now?
How about
Gander
that Busch
Mountain.
series?
It's a paragraph.
The Gander Mountain. What is it? Gander Mountain Truck Series?
The Gander
Gander
Pro
Mountain.
Mountain. It is Gander. It's cause the
Is
fuck.
it Gander or Gonder? I thought
It's
it was
Ga-
Gonder.
What?
No, it's Gander from over yonder. Who's
Goddamn, we
fucking
need to be
drinking
in
while they're
NASCAR's
laughing?
Marketing department. I feel like we do
Like
a
somebody
better
just took a
job.
bong hit.
Yeah,
You almost made me spit out my Valpolicella from
1970.
It's a 17.
Hey boys, it's Thursday. We got to go over there to that Gonder race
No,
in Bristol.
It's Gander Mountain. It's cause fucking it's the same dude who owns Camping World, and apparently Gander Mountain's numbers aren't so hot, so
I'm
he
pretty
thinks
sure-
they throw it
I'm
on the
pretty
truck
sure-
race.
I'm pretty sure it's Comping World, but whatever.
Yes, yeah. Sorry, the Camping World,
Gonder.
Camping World Truck Series is now going to be the
Taruck.
Gonder Mountain Truck
And
Series.
there's gonna be 9 trucks in it every week.
Yes, of course.
Looking
And
forward
3
to
of
that.
them are going to be from KBM.
Most of them are using spec engines and good time.
Well, Kyle
Yeah.
Busch is going to win the first 5 races.
Is
And Matt Crafton is a talking thumb. Did you guys ever notice that? If a thumb could talk,
Yeah,
it would look like Matt Crafton.
it would.
It'd sound like Matt Crafton.
Oh yeah, of course. He
That's a
always
pretty
sounds like
good
his
guy.
mouth is full.
Yeah, it's a pretty good guy. We had a good race this week, but I think we could have done better. I thought we had a bit of a better truck this week. Made moves to the front. I ended up on my roof. It is the way it goes.
That's your 2-time Craftsman thumb champion.
Oh, he's so awful. Can't stand him. Talking thumb, Matt Crafton.
Like you guys know my side on it. Like I don't.
Do we?
Are you a big Matt
I
Crafton
know my
fan?
like the
He had to
Xfinity
clear his
and
throat for this one.
Gonder series. Like they
Gonder.
put on some entertaining series, but it's really hard to follow a driver when the main issue is the money and people just swap teams like it's nothing. Like it's almost like iRacing. You know, a lot of the iRacing guys, especially the higher echelon or whatever, they'll jump from one team to another.
That
Just
was
to know
rough.
Came from the
whose
soul.
setups are going where.
Let me
Like-
Corey. Let me throw something out there, and I bet Cozy can back me up on this. I love watching guys like Jesse Little go out there and run around in an underfunded truck in like the top 5. I think it's awesome.
They actually say
Yeah.
like if you can listen to the conversation, is that the spec engine has actually evened it's lower cost and it's actually evened the playing field a bit. Where yeah, like guys like Jesse Little can come in, or guys like Jordan Anderson can come in that 3 truck and
Johnny
run
Benson.
competitively. So
Yeah,
I do think it's a step forward, and I think they need to take another step forward, like what they're doing with the composite bodies in the Xfinity series. And yeah, I think there's some things, and I think maybe when they come up with the Gen 7 car in Cup, hopefully that will be a composite body, and they'll, as much as guys like or engine manufacturers like TRD and Roush Yates and Hendrick. I think for Costa, with economy and stuff, with sponsorship and stuff like that, I think they need to probably consider that.
Yeah, if trucks on the technical side are doing something different, and of course they are with the spec engines and things like that, that are making guys like Jesse Little coming in there and doing, top 5, top 7 runs all night, and watching that, that blue truck with the orange stripe, I think it's a BKR truck that he runs, that he threw an orange stripe on. I think it's awesome, and I love watching that where real talent is able to kind of go to the front. I don't know if it's a product of the suppressed horsepower, or if it's the aero package, or if it's just sheer talent. But I feel like you can't get that in Cup, and for more races than not, you can't get that in Xfinity either. It's too scienced out at the top end of the field. It's not quite at that F1 where it's going to be the same 6 teams battling to turn 1 on the first lap, and then you get to find out who wins. But at least if I'm going to watch a truck race, you gotta watch the whole race, because you have no idea what's going to happen.
Half the amount.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, well, half of the tracks they go to, the mile and a half, they're holding it wide open anyways.
It's true.
I was gonna say they need to go back to short tracks, man. More short tracks, more smaller tracks. I think that
It's
really
true.
suit the truck series.
All the best races in those lower series are the races at the off tracks, like ORP and even Mosport up here in Canada, where every year it's
I actually
so
heard
awesome.
that and this is from a fairly credible source,
Don't
but
quote me.
no, I wouldn't have said a credible source if it was coming from you,
Credible
Corey.
alcoholic source.
Yeah. No, this
Premium
comes
Bud
from
Light.
actually somebody within NASCAR that in 2020 we may see a January start time for at least one series, with Daytona not being the first race. They're going to start out west. And from the looks of it, it sounds like the
We're
truck
going back
series.
to Riverside. Woo!
Well, maybe like it sounds like they're gonna start the truck series up in like January and just do like a short track tour on the West Coast, and then
God bless
kind of
'em.
meet up with the rest of the NASCAR deal in Daytona, and then go from there. And in that season, and all seasons are supposedly getting shorter too, but that's where it starts getting fuzzy. But
There's too much money to be made.
The Cup was going to go to Mosport, which is a rumor.
I haven't heard that one.
Mosport? Oh my god.
That'd be
I
cool.
was not talking. I was listening to SiriusXM, and a caller called in and said with the 2020 schedule realignment, so all the guaranteed contracts, the tracks are up after this next year. They said, what of these 5 tracks would you say has the best chance to get a Cup race? And one of the tracks that Dave Moody had to talk about was Canadian Motorsports Park, and he said,
God.
He said, I really think that's because they put on such a good. They have room for it. It's put on a great show for the trucks. He thinks it's going to happen. So
Wow. That's insane.
I love the
mean,
collars on Sirius
Those
XM, by the way.
last 3 turns at most Ford are probably some of the most exciting at the end of the race. I won't lie.
But
now, sorry, if
I
a
think it's
guy
just
like
truck
Lando,
drivers.
right-hander.
who has insights, he's in the know. If he gets excited, the other 4 tracks, I think they were like talking about like Coda and
North
Oh,
Wilkesboro.
Yeah, there you go.
nothing that we could really like. It's
There's
all,
an idea. Let's go back to North Wilkesboro.
I think Road America came up was another one he was excited about. So I think that would we could probably see a little bit more
Oh man.
road course racing, which is great because I like watching road course racing.
Here's
they
my
need to
theory.
They need to get rid of some of those stupid ass tracks that have second dates. Pocono, Texas can
please.
fuck right off.
Yes,
Put new
please.
tracks into circulation.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody deserves a second date unless you have
There's only
unless
a
it has
handful.
like historical reasons, like
Bristol, Martinsville, Daytona,
Yeah,
maybe
There you go.
Dega, probably Dega.
I think Dega probably because of you don't have a lot of the plate tracks on
For the
the
shit
schedule. Yeah,
And,
Yeah,
and
you
they
need
made
4-plate trucks.
they
traditional.
kind of helped Charlotte with the Roval,
Yeah,
where it's 2
Yeah.
second dates.
Yeah.
But that don't count though as a second date to me. I mean, it does, but it
They
doesn't.
don't, but that's why they did it.
Yeah.
So they ensured their second date.
but if
Yeah.
everybody's talking about, well,
Track-wise.
Pocono better build their Roval, otherwise they're going to lose their date.
Well, I mean, yeah, they raced there twice. They raced 2 times in the matter of what 6-7 weeks.
Yeah. I feel like that would help though. You would think putting all your efforts into one big race instead of just, let's go to Pocono this week, a couple weeks down the road, let's do it again.
Oh yeah, they can throw the fucking kitchen sink at it, make it an
Yeah,
event.
just one big
From-
event, yeah.
From what I heard, the ones that after New Hampshire lost its second date, Pocono and Dover were the 2 biggest losers.
Because they're the only
next.
independently owned ones left.
Right.
Yeah, I could see that, and
It's
I
easy
think
to
the
fuck
other
'em.
the other place probably to consider, and this is probably a detriment to their own lack of enthusiasm because they haven't got a cup race. Is Iowa puts on some of the best Xfinity racing out there, yet
Debatable.
they don't produce attendance, and
Because it's hotter than hell.
it's hotter than hell. But if you
And
put
it's in the
if you
middle
give it a
of
good
nowhere.
date, if you give them a cup date, yeah, I think people are going to show up. But I think that because they're so pissed off that NASCAR hasn't given them a cup date, they're that's at least what the fan base is when they call in and it's like, well, we're so pissed off you guys haven't given us cup. Well, that's kind of bullshit. Support
There's
the races
some
that you
sort
have.
of reason though that they wouldn't, because NASCAR owns that track, so it wouldn't like it'd be hard. You know what I mean?
Well, the thing is kind of when you look at a NASCAR race, you got to have the area. You have to have the lodging for people that are out of town. You have to have the motels. You have to have places. I mean, it's just you have to have the airports, stuff like that.
You put that,
Thing
you put
with
that
Bristol-
track 30 minutes outside of Seattle, it would sell out every damn race, whether it's a truck race,
Right.
whatever.
Probably
Actually,
rain,
that-
though.
Corey, that's actually a really great point. I did a couple of the Prelude to a Dreams at Eldora, and I don't know if you guys have ever been down there, but holy shit! I mean,
Oh,
2
yeah.
hours, 2 hours before race time, there's one access road to this track, and you're an hour backed up, and you can see the track. But
Mhm.
you're not going anywhere. So yeah, if you don't have the infrastructure that can handle that kind of an influx, but I guess actually I want to segue into something else, and you guys can tell me maybe you've got a little more insight than I do. How is it that IMS? How is it that is it IMS? The Phoenix Raceway. There's a ISM. Thank you.
Close.
How is it that Phoenix Raceway? I love the reconfigure. I really do. I like having the start finish just off the
So
dog
different.
leg. Yeah, it's fun, and they're obviously putting a ton of money. They ripped a bunch of grandstands out there, and they're claiming sell out every single year. How is that possible?
Well,
How
I
is
mean,
that possible?
Here's the thing, and this is how Homestead does it. I know for a fact. All these promotional things, like Preet and Cozy have experienced this. Like certain sponsors get so many tickets, and they'll just hand them out to motherfuckers that have bought something. Or you go down to a local car dealership, test drive a car, boom, you got 3 tickets to the Cup race.
Right.
You got stuff like that.
Right.
The tracks give those out. They tear 15,000 seats down. Then they hand out, 5,000 promotional tickets. And then you have all your season ticket holders. All the tickets that are up for sale, yeah, there's not many of them, but they buy them all, and then they just start handing tickets out left and right to motherfuckers.
Right.
So that's how they can claim a sellout.
Well, the Daytona 500 would have never sold out if it was the same capacity as it was 15 years ago as it is now.
Yep.
It was. And a lot of tracks have downsized because they want to put themselves back. Again, the early 2000s, the late 1990s, when the sport was booming and at its peak, it was on fire. And
they had to put those. They had to put those up.
Yeah, and Rob, what I'm saying though is that even with all of the contraction that's happening all across NASCAR at all of the tracks, I don't think there's any exceptions. I think all of the tracks are having the same problem. IMS or ISM still packs them in. They still claim sellouts every year, but every single other track they go to, the Bristols, like watching Bristol, and I just rewatched it again. I watched the Bristol night race again today. There couldn't have been 50% capacity at Bristol for the night race.
Was there rain in the conversation for that? I feel like there was.
It was a rain weekend, yeah, but they still ran the race on the scheduled night.
Like, I'm right there with you. I've been going to every Cup race since '93 there.
Oh God, here comes this one.
No, we're not going off on riding on the coolers down the hill.
Which is a great story.
That's the best story ever.
Going back to not this past race, but the August before when Jeff Gordon was stepping in for Dale Jr. That Saturday night when the race was actually starting, that place was almost near capacity. And unfortunately, they ran like 50 laps, rained them out, and they had to come back Sunday morning. And I'll admit, we didn't go back.
Why?
And I don't think anybody showed up. Well, mainly because Junior wasn't running, and I had to come back to work and stuff like that.
Right.
But just, I don't know. Bristol
We've had a lot of those rain races.
Been plagued by rain.
Yep.
Whether it's spring or fall, it's rained all the time.
Yep.
And we'll stick it out because we've got a short drive back and forth to go to that race. But so many people, like you're talking about Phoenix, I think a lot of it has to do with localized fans. So the local fans are always going to show up, and if you have a lot of them, you're going to do really well. And that was where Bristol really prospered in the early 2000s.
Yeah, with Phoenix, you're talking about filling, I think it's 65,000 now, and Bristol's still up above 100.
Bristol's still at 160,000.
But not, it couldn't have been.
Is that the new way to say 1,000? Have I missed something?
60,000.
But
thou, yeah.
How much did you say for Phoenix?
I haven't heard thou since I read the Bible.
Yeah, that's what I read. 65,000.
Yeah, I think it's 65. But anyway, yeah, no, it wasn't that long ago that even down here, like even we're 11 hours north of Bristol, and we're pretty avid race fans up here in pockets. There were people up here that were maintaining, that sort of rotation, the legacy rotation of having tickets to Bristol for years and years and years because you were on a waiting list. Otherwise, if you didn't already have tickets, you were on a waiting list, and it was years and whatever. And now it's like, God, you just watch the replay, and there's got to be 25, 30,000 people there, if that.
Yep.
Anyway, it sucks, and I hate to see it, and I wonder about formats. And I do truly.
The way you said it though, it's just and you hate to see that.
Yeah. Did you feel my angst?
Yeah, I did.
Man, I've been, my dad. I grew up around race cars. My dad built race cars when I was a kid, and I fell in love with racing and NASCAR when I was probably 5, 6, 7 years old, right? So, fast forward 36 years later, and you want to see the sport doing well. And God, I feel like leadership in NASCAR is purveying this bullshit lie that it's fine.
A man fired several.
Fine, and it's not fine, man. And so, like a huge overhaul, almost a complete burning down of the status quo is a thing that I don't know could be on the table in order for them to adapt and move forward into the future, especially with the new talent that they have. I mean, they got guys like Kyle Larson, who's talking about like his passion's dirt racing, He's talking about like cup racing is, that's what pays the bills. Like, holy shit! And this is the leadership of your new generation. You know, I don't
Yeah,
know, man.
that's kind of. I think towards the end of the year, you kind of saw that too. A lot of people know Larson's background, and that he would rather be running World of Outlaws week in
That's
and
right.
week out instead of NASCAR.
He
And
said
that's
on
So
record. He said on record before he
right,
turns
and
40, he wants to be running full time World of Outlaws.
since you've
He's
seen
just using
that,
NASCAR as a economic tool for him.
yeah,
right,
it's an end to a means, or a means to an end for sure. And I think that there are others through the history of NASCAR also that probably would have said the same thing. But now it's just like they're not compelled enough to protect the sponsors or protect the integrity of that sort of massive cup is everything illusion, to just feel like you can be Kyle Larson, ride the cushion, and throw it into the wall with 5 to go,
Yeah.
because that's what happens 8, 9 times out of 10. And then just be like, yeah, you know what? It doesn't really matter all that much because, my kid is already in 3/4 midgets and I'm going to go run dirt all week. Like, who the fuck cares is basically what he's saying. There's like just a genuine, I think there's a genuine disconnect between that old consumer NASCAR public that used to fill those grandstands and throw fucking beer tins on Jeff Gordon's car when he won at Talladega, and whatever it is the fuck that we have now, where it's all these comp tickets and people sitting in suites and just enjoying it like it's a movie or something.
Cozy.
Did you call me?
I agree with you. It got really the corporation stepped in, and I don't know if it's kind of backlash from the early 2000s being so hot, and then the coming into the 2010s, just everything just kind of really dying down. So many corporations, like you were saying, Travis Homestead gives out so many comp tickets to so many people. Um, Companies probably lose out money because I'm sure they somehow pay for them with the track. They've got some kind of deal worked out.
Well, yeah, it's included in sponsorship, but
Right,
like
and they're like,
or
"Oh shit,
concerts
we
do
can't
And
get
it.
rid of these
always has been.
Concert, like
Yeah.
it happens in music too. Like if you're on the, well, probably not as much now, but back in the day, even when I was growing up and I'm young, like I'd hear on the radio rock stations down in Atlanta all the time, so many tickets go to the radio stations to give out for contests and shit.
Yep.
And they do that because that's free promotion really for their show. You know what I mean? You give them 15 tickets to give away. Well, then you're reaching 10,000 people like that. So, I mean,
And
it's not like it hasn't gone on forever, but when you're tearing 30,000 stands down and then doing that with 10,000 of your tickets, then it starts to be a bullshit sellout.
yeah,
So,
and
sorry, go ahead, Core.
I was gonna add kind of just being that um, I go to Bristol. I've been, like I said, I've been to Bristol a lot. I've been to Charlotte, been to Kentucky. Nowadays, with NASCAR in its decline, a lot of places, like we were talking about Iowa earlier. Iowa's a great racetrack, especially in Xfinity Series. They put on hell of finishes. It's close, short track racing, like it's kind of like the trend that we see in NASCAR now. Um, Sorry, I got the dog.
I
These
think what
places
short,
like
okay,
Iowa, Bristol, you guys could probably name off a couple more tracks. I can't really think right now.
Kansas.
These tracks that are really limited, moralized, Jesus, alcohol, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep.
These tracks that are they pretty much rely on localized fans, like Bristol when they had 160,000 each race, spring, fall. That was the majority of local people coming to see the race. Same thing, kind of like with Martinsville now. A lot of the crowd is mostly people within the Virginia area. Places that are really hard, they don't have much accessibility. They don't have large airports. They don't have an international, national airport. It's all localized. Like Scott was saying, they have one road in, one road out. And I can attest to that at Kentucky Speedway. God, going into Kentucky, they sold out that first Cup race they had, but it took me 4 hours to get parked. These tracks, they don't. I don't know if it's whether the tracks or the local government, they don't they don't supply the resources necessary for these tracks to
You could start a
be
GoFundMe.
successful.
I love that we have this Discord, and all apologies to Discord because we're using TeamSpeak. I love that we're having this Discord because I don't get to have this conversation with too many people, but having Cozy in the room that does some streaming, and Trav does some streaming, and so does Corey, and obviously Rod with your admin on it's esports now. Like, it has a brand name, and all we've been reading all week is all this cash that iRacing is dumping into these payouts for these different leagues and these different series.
Don't forget NASCAR Heat Pro League or whatever the fuck they're doing now too.
I'll try not to, but I might. And
it's the best of the best, man. Somebody told me on Twitter. You can go on, but I'm gonna find what this guy said to me.
What I'm saying is that where you have probably, I would say, a more tangible connection with, say, a youth uprising in the motorsports sector, especially when you talk about guys like William Byron or Christopher Bell or Rico or any of those guys that came up through and did some iRacing and alluded to the fact that they did some iRacing, they did some sim stuff. And iRacing has used that as a gigantic leverage point to say, hey, look, these guys that are winning the Chili Bowl, these guys are the winning, cup races, truck championships, on and on and on and on. These guys did iRacing. So if you're not using iRacing, well, I mean, you got no chance. And then they throw a ton of money in it. Well, I mean, relatively speaking, a ton of money into payouts, not just for the Peak Series, which Ray Alfala wins every other year.
Ray William.
Yeah, Ray William.
Slip angle. Facebook.
Slip angle for life.
With Brian Fritz, who's Brian Blackford, who broke a fucking Call of Duty because apparently
he didn't donate it for Christmas.
Yeah,
it
normalizes violence, though, Corey. So he broke the game that he spent money on.
Shout out, rest in peace, Mr. Cater.
Yes.
Obviously. But I mean, I think there's a deeper and probably more fundamental connection with kids and those of us coming up through that want to get our hands onto racing, but you can't do it from a financial standpoint. There's a bit of a disconnect to those of us that are sitting in bedrooms and in studios and
jerking it and watching NASCAR.
Yeah, and smashing iRacing all week, and then maybe we're catching a Cup Series race or whatever. But are we going to the race? Are we doing that? Is that part of the model going forward? Probably not.
No, yeah, I mean, you got to look at it from a standpoint of, I would be more concerned about TV numbers than actual attendance. Because at the end of the day, yeah, I mean, it's a nightmare
that's
too.
Where the money is.
But that's where the
look
money
at these
is.
TV
Yeah.
deals, like Fox paid how many hundreds of millions of dollars to have NASCAR on Fox Sports 1, not Fox in general?
I found the tweet, by the way, guys. So back on November 5th, Dale Jr. tweeted, he quoted a iRacing tweet or something and said, iRacing is the pinnacle of all sim racing, period. So I replied to Dale and said, you obviously haven't played NASCAR Heat. It was obviously a joke. Well, Dale replied to me and said, it's a child's game.
Yeah, you set your ass down.
Yeah,
child.
I guess he didn't realize I was joking, so thanks, Dale. And then it kind of turned into a debate. Well, then a few weeks ago, after like my mentions, and not really my mentions, but I just kept getting notifications and shit to do with this. Well, they had finally settled down. Dale Jr. tweeted about the NASCAR Heat Pro League or whatever and was like, man, this is a great opportunity. Well, I put a link to his tweet where he called it a child's game and said this didn't age well. Well, Travis Saprowski took to Dale's tweet. He actually didn't take kindly to it. He went back to the November 5th tweet a month and 3 days later and said, not a child's game. A lot of us take it serious and have fast as hell setups. You have kids in all games at Sims. You just have to move them and get rid of the Kyle Busch wrecking moron fans. They race just like him, wrecking all the time. Then he followed up with, also, most of us with racing skills can't really show it, as some of us aren't fortunate enough to have money behind us to try expensive setups to race iRacing.
What a
we
fucking
have to
idiot.
stick to what we have to stick to what we can afford, and that is a console to get our racing fix, and we take it serious. Yeah, poor Travis.
Somebody
I mean-
pass the gun over to me, please.
There's a lot. There's a
But is
lot to
NASCAR
digest.
Heat really a sim though? It's mostly.
Well, no. He never
No.
claimed it was a
It's-
sim.
It's barely even a
It's a
video game.
game.
No, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't
No.
understand how these teams are going to have a draft. Who the fuck, Cozy? Are you going to get drafted first round?
No, I'm
He's
not
sharing the
participating
draft.
because the game is terrible. It's not esports ready at all. It's barely even like.
It shouldn't even be released
Like,
in
I
the
don't-
state
I don't
it is.
understand how in the hell
the
they're just going to
PUBG
throw
of
money at
racing
it,
games.
a piece of shit. It's like saying, all right, well, we're going to make a pro Minecraft team. Let's throw money at it and see what kind of teams we can come up with.
Minecraft is a good game, though.
Well, I was gonna say I kind of like the idea. Back in 2017, I went to Richmond and they did their first like esports thing. They called it esports. It wasn't really esports. It was just kind of a tournament that you
15 people standing in front of a TV.
Yeah, so like everybody, went and played and did like split screen against, they had like a bracket style tournament that they couldn't fill up, but besides the point. I thought that was really cool because they were like, yeah, we're gonna do this each week. We're gonna travel around to each racetrack. And we're gonna have this like NASCAR Heat 3 or that was NASCAR Heat 2
That's
at the time.
awesome, though, because that's like
Yeah,
an
it's-
arcade, and that's what the game is. It's an
Yeah,
arcade game,
Kind of
pretty
fun.
much.
Like you
yeah.
go to the track, you sign up, and then you race for prizes or whatever. That was before the game was released. I was trying to win an early copy, which I was appropriately taken out by a guy who just full throttled each corner, bounced off the AI cars, and beat me that way, which I was fucking pissed and still am. But anyways, that's like cool and all, right? You go to the track each week. It's coming. The racetrack's in town this week, or the race is in town this week. I'll go to the track. While I'm there, I'll sign up and play NASCAR Heat 2 and go split screen against somebody and try to win something. That's cool.
Sounds like you were playing against Joseph Garinge, if I remember his name right.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh boy.
Fast forward to a year where the game didn't get much better at all, and now they got teams signed up, actual NASCAR teams that are gonna draft 3 games, and they
Crazy.
still don't have the green and white checkered set up right. If the caution comes out on the white flag, it doesn't end the race, and they go to overtime. I couldn't believe it when I first played the game and that happened to me. I couldn't believe it. 3 years and they can't get that right. So how are they supposed to run esports and have money and have anything sort of credible going on with this? I don't get it.
It's
You shouldn't have
just
mentioned it.
Listen,
My head's gonna blow off.
Yeah, Cozy. This is Cozy's livelihood here, so let's be careful. But I went through Mr. Saprowski's tweets. Yeah, you better kick your feet up and grab a drink for this thread. So NASCAR Heat tweeted, today we released a free Team Hendrick Test Scheme DLC pack. Happy holidays. Well, apparently Travis smells some, I don't know if you'd say espionage or some shenanigans. He says, is your team all pissed off I keep winning online today, and then a group of friends got all together and tried working together to keep me from winning, so I keep booting them, and then I lose connection and lose the authentication messages kicking me offline. Did I boot you guys, lol? Then he followed up. Kind of ironic. I won near 15 online races in a row just to find and win these select few pop up together in my lobby and spend 4 hours in a row lagging back to wait for me and ram me out of the lead, and I boot them. Then I lose connection a lot before a race starts. Loss authentication?
You should
Then-
reply.
No, hang on. There's
No,
more,
Fortnite.
Corey. There's more. Little fishy to me. Seem like your team is helping at booting me off your server now. People salty I race them like they race me and still win, LeMayo. I can race clean and leave people in the dust and win right, or I can be a wrecker just like them and still win. Either way, I'll win. None of these tweets got a single like, by the way. And
Sounds a lot like,
December
a young
15th.
William Byron on iRacing.
For this, I don't know why this is funny, but he replied the next day to a tweet about Donald Trump fucking a porn star. He said he's a needle dick mushroom head. What's even worse is that anyone would let him stick his toothpick in them to begin with. That makes them just as bad as Trump himself.
So he's a liberal.
Yes, and he thinks Trump is a needle dick mushroom head.
Well, that's not nice.
Yeah, but yeah, NASCAR Heat community is a sad community. Not a sad. There's some good people in there.
Yeah,
Well,
I hope they vet some people so they don't get like people like that. I mean, I can't imagine they would be dumb
They
enough
can't.
to.
Yeah, they won't.
It would
do
almost
that.
be like a
Yes,
what if
nothing
there was
like
like a league out there that wasn't sanctioned by NASCAR that put it together and took like the most popular NASCAR heat people, put them on the track together, maybe got some people with a little bit of clout to watch, and then all those people went out there and wrecked. Like, what if something like that happened? That would
wouldn't
be
look good.
embarrassing. Yeah, that would be horrible, and let's pray that day never comes.
Even going
Yeah.
back to iRacing though, with them dropping all the money, a lot of people are pissed.
Only the
Why?
slow people.
Well, no, not the slow people. I don't know.
I mean, I'm pissed, yeah, because I know I'll never
I
win
was
it.
on a bunch of teams when I was running for pro and stuff, and a lot of them
You
don't
ran
like
for pro?
it. Yeah.
Back in
2012.
2012, yeah. See, that explains it.
2012, I was pro.
Man, you were back
Um,
at it with Sanjeev Banerjee.
Yeah.
No,
the pro
actually,
series?
Is
I
that the
think he
dude
quit in
who-
2010.
Who like knocked the rear axle out of it and won at Daytona because it
He
somehow
always
made
had-
him
yeah,
faster?
He had
Probably.
the skull car, the old school skull paint
Don't you
scheme.
forget there, Core Henry's a Super Speedway Cup champion.
So is Greg
But
Hooks.
Actually,
He's an
no,
alien.
He's not.
Yeah, he is.
yeah,
He got a
he's not
trophy.
champion.
He got a trophy.
Well,
I
oh,
stalked
He's
his
an
Twitter.
He's an IROC champion.
Oh, is that what that? I just stalked his Twitter the other day and went
Speaking
back
of
like
IROC,
2
I won
years.
IROC, right? Because I was the points leader when everything died. Right?
Everything got sold to China.
God damn it.
But what
Yeah,
I was
we all
saying though,
lost.
like iRacing, with them dropping $100,000 on the NASCAR series alone, I don't know if you guys know, but a lot of teams they like to share their setups. So when the race comes, majority of the field all are on the same fast, quote unquote fast setup, because everybody's friends with everybody anymore in the Peak Antifreeze series. Like, oh, did you get a setup from so and so?
So are you saying that the scam that is VRS is gonna die? Is that what
Pretty
you're saying?
much.
Okay.
I mean, no, Ray and all them, they all have their own setups, but
Do they
but
still have that
because
50-year-old
they have
woman
such
making them
good
for 'em?
setups, because Ray and Byron and all them have like the top setups, a lot of the guys that don't have too much time to spend on it, like those guys do, they all share the same setup, and it's pretty much 80% of the field in the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze series on iRacing is a fixed setup because they're all on the same damn thing, trying to chase certain guys at the top of the field.
Series is a joke, anyways. Half
Yeah,
the names in that league series.
Yeah.
And a lot of people that have got into that series only got into it because they did have that much time to spend on sets and whatnot. And for NASCAR to come in like, oh, we're going to let you guys use $100,000 instead of $10,000. Wait until the series starts. There's
Yeah.
going to be a lot of backlash, and there's going to be a lot of people turning their backs on each other when it comes to that series.
And
now,
I
because
can't
it's
wait
all
for
gonna
it.
Be,
It's gonna be
it's all
incredible.
going to be about who has the time to make.
Well,
the
you can make a
sets.
living on it now. I mean, it used to be, it wasn't a lot of, it wasn't, you had to. I mean, that's a lot. That's a. If you win $100,000, that's a lot of money.
What's
Yeah.
Rod, there was-
$100,000 all split up?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
never mind. Never
But I
mind.
mean, you'll
Thought
still
it was
probably
for the
get
champion.
$75,000 to win it or something. You know that?
But the whole thing comes down to like, there's been people that they don't really have anything else to do other than play iRacing, and then those guys send out sets, and then those sets get sent out all around the whole series, and that's really been a problem in iRacing for years. Of people like so and so sent me this set, and then another guy that's friends with this guy like, hey, can you send me that setup? The Peak Antifreeze series has pretty much been a fixed setup except for the top 5, and that's why you have the same top 5 every week in and week out. So a lot of people are pissed.
I hate to derail the racing train, but I just came across this. Montana man shoots at guy he thinks is Bigfoot.
Did you kill him?
I don't know. Let's see. A Montana
he
man.
wrong?
yeah. Let's wait and see if the guy might have a case here. A Montana man who thought he was shooting at Bigfoot on Sunday ended up making a big mistake. Okay, I guess it wasn't Bigfoot. The supposed Sasquatch was actually a fellow human setting up targets to shoot in a forest area near Helena.
Fellow human.
The
He was probably wearing orange.
The 27-year-old victim narrowly avoided death when one bullet hit 3 feet to his left. Okay, so I guess he wasn't shot. Another bullet whizzed by him on the right, according to the Idaho Statesman. Police said the victim tried to avoid more gunfire by running into the trees before he was able to confront his shooter, a man in a black Ford F-150. The alleged shooter told the victim, "I thought you were Bigfoot." The victim added that the suspect told him, "I don't target practice, but if I see something that looks like Bigfoot, I just shoot at it."
Attaboy.
Oh, man. The alleged shooter then reportedly told his victim to wear orange if he didn't want to be confused for Bigfoot.
Yeah, I feel like he just wanted to kill a dude.
What is this fucking open
Why
season
is
on
Matt Crafton
Bigfoot?
shooting at Bigfoot?
Dude, what have we come to
Well-
as a
Well,
society?
imagine how cool you would be if you caught Bigfoot.
Well, we had some guys down here one time that froze a gorilla costume and said it was Bigfoot, went on the radio, and they told their story, and then it turned out that their story was just the end of Harry and the Hendersons. But why have we set out as a society to not only find these creatures that we think may or may not exist, but why do we have to kill them when we find them? You know, everybody thinks they find
don't kill
Bigfoot,
you.
shot them.
Geez, just think of what we would do with genders.
Bigfoot would have already killed us, one, if he was real, and two, if he wanted to kill us. I mean, I don't know.
You don't know that. Have you seen Bigfoot?
No, not recently, but I'm just saying, if I
He
saw
seemed
Bigfoot,
pretty nice on Red Dead.
yeah, if I saw Bigfoot, I would not empty the clip. I would not, unless he
He-
confronted me.
I
He
would.
just wants some, what is it, Jack Link's beef jerky? That's all he wants.
Yeah. Oh man, deputies have not found a vehicle matching the description, but doesn't. So they haven't caught this sumbitch.
So what? Bigfoot had a vehicle? Or...
No. The guy who shot at the man he confused for Bigfoot.
Oh, I thought they got quotes from this guy.
And-
Well, hold on.
No, they got the victim got quotes from the guy who shot at him, and then the guy left. And a woman has come out now. This is like a Me Too type thing, I think, here. But woman's come out saying she had too been shot by a man in a black F-150. The
Where
one,
was this at?
no joke, Idaho.
Oh, okay. Well, everybody probably drives F-150s.
Was
up
she
there
also
anyway,
sexually
so.
assaulted by the
This
Bigfoot?
all happened at North Wilkesboro Speedway.
The woman didn't mention Bigfoot, but she was able to give a description of her alleged attacker. Dutton said authorities are working to find the man. So that's code for we don't know who did it, nor do we care.
Sounds like the guy in the Ford F-150 is a smooth talker.
Yeah, if he didn't get shot.
Oh,
fuck it.
Bigfoot, man. Not
Sounds
you.
like Bigfoot's going to be the next Supreme Court Justice of the United States.
Yeah, Bigfoot's gonna fucking.
Until some, we'll just hold that for later.
Yeah, that'll be next week's JackBolt, ladies and gentlemen. But I think we've been rambling for about what? We've been going for a while now, haven't we?
About an hour and 40 minutes.
Yeah. So, yeah, I guess that's gonna do it. We found Rod. He's alive. He's well. The studio's dusty. There's a dead body in the corner that's slightly decomposed and looks like Preet. So we're a little concerned about that. But we'll be able to fill y'all in here soon. So we thank y'all. Any final words, gentlemen? All right.
Rod
Scott.
car day in 35 days. Rod car day in 35 days.
All right then.
Ready
Scott,
to kill it again.
you want to hit him with it?
JackBolt Radio, motherfucker.
Well, that'll do it for the stream tonight, folks. We'll see you later.